Hi, everybody. Hold on. We're having some technical difficulties at just a moment. Joe, you're on mute. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Video Veg. Joe's going to join us momentarily to kick the show off as soon as he gets himself off mute.
Hey! Oh my God. Sorry. Welcome to Video Veg, everyone. The very, very professional podcast about movies. I'm your host, Joe. And to somebody's left is Mark.
Oh, hi. Yeah,
I'm,
you got to
I'm
tell us
guessing.
which one because we
I'm
don't
gu-
know either compared to
I
your
just
screen.
I just assume that it's Mark. Mark's on my left.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mark, and I'm also one of the hosts of Video Veg. And our third host, all the way on my far left, or possibly on Joe's right, who knows,
No, he's all the way over on my far left too. It's Daniel.
Okay. Hi, folks.
well,
So,
yeah.
oh man, we're off to a banner show, guys. This is going to be one for the books. Well, this week, guys, I wanted to I wanted to start the show off. Do like we normally do. Talk about some stuff that we've been watching this week. Talk about the new releases for next week. Talk about the box office, and then get into a little bit of news. Probably this week's big movie this week's going to be San Andreas, so we've got a little bit of news to kind of touch on for that. But why don't we start off like we normally do, and let's check in with each other and see what we've been watching this week. Go ahead,
Well,
Mark.
I started with something. Obviously, I've been watching Silicon Valley. That's been coming out on a regular basis and is still fantastic. But probably the big winner of this weekend was, of course, Game of Thrones. And if you haven't seen it, holy crap. Uh, Daniel, have you seen it? Nope, he has
I
not
I
seen
got
it.
home. I got home really late last night from con, so
Uh,
no. One of the
it,
only shows I haven't seen yet.
Joe, have you seen it?
Nope, I'm still not watching it until the season's over, and then I'll be amazed and wowed. I know I'm dropping the ball here.
Well,
Um,
let's just say this. This is all I will say about it, and without giving us any spoilers away at all. Um, there's a 20-minute battle scene in it, and it is not the season finale. Let's just go there. That should tell you. It puts everything in stark perspective
hey,
as to what the true stakes of all this are. So, it's probably one of the standout episodes of this season so far. I definitely recommend watching it.
It's on my docket for this evening. I just haven't gotten a chance to do it yet.
And beyond that, I also tried to hunt down um, a digital copy of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, because somehow some conversation was spawned, and the missus had never seen it, still has never seen it. She also has not seen the second one, and she didn't even realize that it was Keanu Reeves in one of his first roles in it. So that also somehow in that same conversation sparked the fact that she'd never seen Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. So that became a search, and I did find that on a streaming service that was actually on Hulu, believe it or not. So we watched Groundhog Day, and she absolutely loved it, and as any person with discerning taste should love it.
Yep. Yep.
And Joe's disagreeing, but he's on mute again because he was counting things out, and he doesn't realize he's on mute. But yes, Joe, do you not like Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day is one of my least favorite movies ever. Which weirdly enough, though, the Tom Cruise movie that is basically Groundhog Day in space is a fantastic movie. I love it. I think it's all about the presentation. I was so I mean It's
So,
just
so
not a good movie for me.
this is a democracy, so we can vote off a co-host, right? I'm just saying.
So next week, Matt will be here in my place. Apparently,
No.
I did not get a rose.
So wait, I do have a serious question. Do you like The Princess Bride then, Joe?
I do.
So, just because we're on that topic, Bill Murray in the '80s was huge, and you like '80s movies.
Correct. Yeah.
What is it? I mean, my wife really dislikes Groundhog's Day, and so I made her watch it 800 times. So I get why you may not like it, but it is. It's one of those movies I absolutely love.
It for me, I think it was the. I think it was the message. I think that it was. It wanted original.
I think the message was basically boiled down to Will Wheaton's entire life message. Don't be a dick.
Right, but I didn't want a message, I guess. Or it felt like it was beating me over the head with it. I was like, after he wakes up like the 900th time and has killed himself a million times, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, come on. And I mean, the comedy was okay. It just the pacing was weird. I don't know. There's just a lot about it that just.
Do you not like Andy McDowell?
I don't actually. I'm not
but
a big
she
fan.
had giant hair
And
Yeah.
teeth.
and teeth. And teeth.
So, but no, I mean, I totally get it. I totally understand that I'm in the. I understand that most of the things that I like and dislike movie-wise, I realize that I'm in the minority on a lot of this stuff. Groundhog Day is a perfect example of one of those movies where people are like, what is wrong with you? How can you not like Groundhog Day? A movie that we'll be talking about here in a few minutes is for what I watched this week. Will also be one of those movies that there's a very big disparagement in opinion.
Well, that's what I love about TV shows and movies, though, is that they're a free-form media that is out of the mind of a group of people that can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're wrong, but I can appreciate the fact that you are wrong.
I respect your right to be wrong.
And a good case in point of what Daniel's talking about is look at Beyonce dancing to DuckTales. That's a free-form media that you can be interpreted many different ways. And yeah,
and I enjoy it thoroughly.
yeah. So other than that, that
Call
was
Daisy.
no. That was pretty much my week, and not a whole lot of weekend, not a whole lot of TV and film consumption, especially since everything's kind of going off the air right now,
Right.
or going in a hiatus. Just trying to pick up slack on a couple things. We are about to start watching the David Duchovny set in the '60s thing with Charlie Manson.
Aquarius?
Aquarius, thank you. I was just trying to pull the name out. Yeah, so we're about to start watching that. Interested to see where that goes. But that's between Game of Thrones. That's that and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which literally had me in tears this week. I was eating food at the time and broke into hysterical laughter. John Oliver almost personally killed me. So
That's another show that I need to get caught up on. I'm just one day behind. I love that show.
He does in 30 minutes what... Well, The Daily Show does it in 30 minutes as well, but the difference is that, in my opinion, he delivers more on a tighter time frame budget.
It's all in how it's presented, just like Joe was just saying. It really is.
And do you hate that as well, Joe?
Oh no. John Oliver is fantastic. It's kind of like a lot of the stuff that's on HBO. Like when I was a big fan of Entourage back in the day, and it used to just irritate me to death that it would be like 8 episodes, 30 minutes. That's a season. It's just like, wow. I mean, it's easily something that could be an hour long. Same thing with John Oliver. John Oliver could easily be every night, or it could be an hour long show once a week or something like that. Because it always feels like he's kind of rushed, but that's just me.
That's it for my week. How about you, Joe?
Really, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I went, we've been kind of clearing out our queue, for on Netflix and Hulu and stuff, and it's pretty much empty at this point. I think Aquarius got put on our queue, but the one movie that I actually sat down and watched this week was apparently the timeless classic Face Off. Yes.
I swear to God, every time he does it, it's like I just imagine sexual noises. I'm sorry, it's got to be said. It's one of the creepiest things in any of the Nick Cage is creepy to begin with. It's just like extra Nick Cage creepy.
So
he's in so many roles. She's on someone else's face.
So funny story about this part of Face Off. Back when me and my wife first started, hold on here, grab something. Back when my wife and I first started dating, we were trying to be funny. We were just doing, we have like little weird affectionate things that we do and stuff like that. And one day, when it was really quiet, she just went up to me and she did that. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, what did you just do that for? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. And she just, blah, blah, blah. I think she thought I knew what it was from. I had no idea what that was from. And so for 10 years, we've been sitting here, like, just whenever, we're just trying to be funny
brushing each other's faces.
Yeah, I'll just go up to be like, oh, honey, and then I'll just go, blah, blah, blah. And for 10 years, I had no idea what that was from. And so we sit down and we watch this movie, and she looks at me, and I'm like, I was just speechless. I was like, I had no idea.
She wins all the cool points.
Yeah.
She pranked you for 10 years.
No. She pranked you with Nick Cage for 10 years.
She caged you.
She caged you
for 10 years.
And the thing is that she hates Nick Cage. She despises.
Well, wait. Did she cage him, or did she reverse Travolta him?
Ooh, boom! My mind just got blown. Yeah, that's deep, man. That's very, very deep. But Joe out.
Because there's a whole lot of extra layers in there if she was reverse Travoltaing you.
Yeah, I don't know.
There could be Scientology messages in there. Your Theodon levels could be through the roof.
That's true.
It sounds like something like a Puerto Rican hooker would do or something.
I'll pay extra for the reverse Travolta.
Reverse Travolta.
And we have completely derailed Joe's mind and podcast at this point. Yes.
So what else have you watched, Joe?
Yes, Joe. What else?
Well, I was gonna give you guys my thoughts on Face Off, but
please do.
I don't know now.
Love you.
My outlook on so many different things has been so warped in such little time. Anyway, Face Off is a horrible movie, guys. It's the worst. I don't even know how. Is it not John Woo? Is it Woo?
Yeah, that's a Woo. Yeah, that's a Woo movie.
I don't even know how they let Woo make movies after that. I mean, it was just.
So, I need to know, was this on? Well, you don't have cable, do you?
No, that's an even funnier thing. Okay, so we were talking about it, and somehow Nick Cage movies came up or whatever, and she started talking about a plot point from Face Off, and I'm like, I don't know that I've seen that. I guess I've gone through the past 10 years thinking that Face Off was like The Rock or something, maybe. I don't know. And so she was just like, "Oh no, 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 no. You haven't seen Face Off." I was like, "No, I thought that was the one with Sean Connery and there's a jail or something." And she's like, "No, hon, that's The Rock." And I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense since they're on The Rock. Okay, well, I got that." And so I was like, "Oh, well, we need to find it. It's not on Hulu. It's not on Netflix." I was like, we had to have accidentally had bought it at some point over there. And I'm looking through all my DVDs and Blu-ray. It's not over there. Lo and behold, I go over to my shame stash of HD DVDs, and there it is, sitting there in a pile of HD DVDs.
Isn't that a redundant name for a pile of a shame stash of HD DVDs? I'm pretty sure it's just shame.
Yeah. Is it just a stack of Nick Cage movies? I didn't know.
Except The Rock.
No, The Rock is over there.
And have you seen The Rock?
I have seen The Rock.
Okay.
But apparently, after all these years, I thought it was Face Off for some reason.
Well, for our viewers, I just want to make sure we cleared that up.
Yeah, I had to clear it up too. It was confusing. It was a weird night. But anyway, yeah. So I have this shame stash of no less than 4 or 5 Nick Cage movies on HD DVD. I don't know if there was a sale or something. No idea. But they're over there. Yeah, so I had to go and find my Xbox 360 HD DVD player, and then I plugged it into my 360, which I then had to plug into my TV because it's been unplugged forever.
And where did your Zune enter into all this?
My Zune, I nowhere because I had to download the updates because I haven't used my Zune in like a million years either. But
it's sad that wasn't a joke.
It's true. Well, and then it took me another like 20 minutes to figure out where the HD DVD. I couldn't access the HD DVD on the 360. It's hidden away in like a menu somewhere, and so I had to go hunting for it, and I finally found it.
So the shame feature on the shame console, shame expansion, with the shame movie.
Hey, Mark. This is starting to turn out like a great adventure. It started off in a box of shame, and then led him in a treasure hunt. Oh, 8mm. That's what you were watching.
That's right. He's probably not seen 8mm.
I have actually.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking. I was making sure we were all in the same. I'm not taking anything for granted with you now, Joe.
That's the one where he's on the airplane, right? With the convicts.
With all the snakes.
Con Air 8mm. That's correct.
And somewhere in there, for some odd reason, he's got a thing of the end of the Constitution.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you were saying earlier you didn't know if you had that stack of shame DVDs because there was a sale. I'm telling you, he's in so many movies. If you threw a ping pong ball in a Walmart, you'd still end up hitting 5 or 6.
So I'm gonna get this off my chest now because I've been very good about bottling it this whole conversation. But have you ever noticed that in every movie he's ever been in, Nick Cage looks like he's been slapped in the face with a fish? That's exactly it. See, you know what I'm talking about immediately.
Yeah. A great many memes have been created because of that look for Nick Cage, but. So anyway, I think to sum up, I actually am not against Nick Cage. I actually like Nick Cage's later works as opposed to his earlier works, and I think a lot of people like his earlier works as opposed to his later works. Like the National Treasure movies, I thoroughly enjoy. I find them to be quite entertaining. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, I actually really kind of enjoyed that movie as well.
Okay, but if there's like 1,000 cheesecakes out front of Costco, and they've been sitting out in the sun, if you eat all of them, there's bound to be 1 or 2 that aren't bad. I'm just saying.
I am really liking your wisdom this evening, Daniel.
This is some fortune cookie stuff we got going
Flash
on here.
hat has turned you into a modern-day soothsayer and prognosticator of wisdom.
Man,
I agree with you. I actually really like some of his stuff, but I also really like Con Air. It's one of my guilty pleasures. So
that guilty pleasure,
it's not great, but I like John Malkovich, and he balances it out for me.
The Rock is about, The Rock and National Treasure 1 are about the only two that I think that I enjoy. Is a strong word, but
there's Raising Arizona that I thought was good. There's one where he's an alcoholic that goes to Las Vegas to try to kill himself. I thought that was really good too.
I really don't like Raising Arizona, surprisingly.
I'm not a fan either.
But he's never been one of my favorite actors in anything, and so when they tied him to Superman, I about had a heart attack.
I do want to see that movie though, the documentary, I guess, about Nick Cage almost becoming Superman or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently it was a Kickstarter. Apparently it's done. It's going out there. It's out there in the wild to see. So I'd be really curious to watch that because that looked like a hot mess.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping it's like, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but last summer I think it was, they had the Jodorowsky's Dune. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
Dave, actually, one of the other editors on the site, he bought the movie, watched it fervently, has been doing research on it for years.
Yeah.
And so he got it when it came out. It was pretty interesting stuff from what he was saying.
It kind of reminds me of that because, I mean, had Jodorowsky actually made Dune, it would have been crazy pants and maybe one of the most amazing sci-fi things out there, but on the other hand, we wouldn't have most of the sci-fi that we have out there right now. I mean, you wouldn't have Aliens, you wouldn't have Blade Runner, stuff like that. So I'm wondering what that would have done to the Superman franchise if Nick Cage would have been Superman.
Well, all you have to do is really kind of look at George Clooney as Batman, and there's your answer.
Touche. Daniel, what have you been watching? Let's get this train back on track.
So I didn't see a lot of TV last week. I watched Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and while at home, but they were on cable, so it wasn't great.
It's a good idea, though. I mean, with Jurassic Park. Week. Is it this week or next week, guys?
Jurassic World comes out the 12th.
The 12th, so 2 weeks.
Okay.
My wife has been watching a lot of Battlestar Galactica because we were getting prepped to go to the Phoenix Comic Con. We had Edward James Olmos, Mary McDonnell, and Katie Sackhoff in attendance. And so on Thursday through Sunday, we actually drove down to Phoenix, which is about 9 hours, and got a chance to see a bunch of panels, which are the actors sitting up on stage and fans get to ask them questions and hear really cool stories. And we got to see those three from Battlestar Galactica and Summer Glau. So it was a lot of awesome. So that's what I've seen. It also meant that I sacrificed Game of Thrones and John Oliver and some Food Network shows that I watch religiously on the altar of patience. But other than that, that's about it. Jurassic Park. I think I watched E.T. while we were in the hotel.
I actually have one thing to discuss. Daniel brought it up. I forgot. MasterChef, the new season. There was no Joe. New pastry chef is okay, but there's no. Gordon's the softy. He's the even keeled real Gordon Ramsay on that show. Joe was the heavy. Joe's gone, so there's no heavy on the show now. And so they changed the format up as well. Not liking how they did the beginning of it, but I'm gonna stick with it. Don't feel bad for Joe, by the way. He's still a he's doing some, and he's got a bunch of other stuff going on too. Oh yeah, he's still a judge on the Italian MasterChef.
Right.
In Italy. He's opening a new restaurant over there. He's doing just fine. He's also got a CNBC show as well.
Well, and I think they need to do that with Hell's Kitchen. They need to mix Hell's Kitchen up because Hell's Kitchen has not, I don't know if you guys watch it or not, but it has not changed in like 10 years. I mean, for as long as the show's been on, it's the exact same thing, and we actually stopped watching it as of, I think, last season because it was just so boring. I mean, it was the same junk over and over again.
Do you know why I like it?
Why?
Because it's raw! Sorry.
You donkey! And to kind of piggyback off of what Daniel was saying, I also went to a con this weekend. I went to the O Comic Con. Is the first year that they've been doing that, and I think we didn't have anyone as cool as like Summer Glau or anything, but we did have a lot of voice actors down there. Billy West was down there, and then oh gosh, I can't remember his first name. LaMarche. He did Pinky and the Brain. He did Brain from Pinky and the Brain.
I think so, Brain, but if they did that, they'd have to call them sad meals.
No, that's Pinky.
Brain. Oh, Brain. My bad.
Oh man, it's killing me that I can't remember his name now. But LaMarche, type that in. But yeah. Anyway, so and then there was a lady from it was the creepy lady from wow, I just ruined this. What the heck is that? American Horror Story. Is that right? It's the one that the Glee guy does. American Horror Story, that's right?
You are really specific. The Glee guy.
Yeah, that guy. The one that
it's not Dan.
The one that's dead?
No. Okay, never mind, guys. Let's move on to the next.
The one that was in the wheelchair?
No, never mind. Nothing. I forget.
I think you're right. I think it's American Horror Story, and I think you're talking about Angela Lansbury?
No!
Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote. We have totally overthrown Joe's show this week.
We are the worst movie podcast ever.
Love you, Joe.
Or in this case, TV. Just saying.
TV. Yeah,
we are the worst.
We're really good at movies, but with TV, we could use some work, I guess. So speaking of TV, I don't know. Speaking of things, let's talk about the new release. I don't have a good transition for this.
Joe's segue
guys.
Generator. Speaking of things.
Transition successful. Let's get into the. You guys want to do new releases, box office, or news?
Let's go to new releases.
New releases.
Go ahead,
all
Dean.
right. So for this week coming up, we got this is another slow week, guys, for new releases. Nothing too crazy.
I don't know about that.
Well, go ahead. What's coming out this week?
Well, okay, so yes, there may not be big box office, shake the movies down, but Jupiter Ascending, which is Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum in a stint to try to save the Earth from an alien species that wants to come and, I guess, take resources. The reviews aren't great for it, but it's an entertaining film if you don't take it seriously.
So you had seen it?
Yes, and my wife hasn't seen it yet, but that's not my wife, that's my sister, just to say. She really wants to see it because she wants to be able to laugh at it. I mean, Channing Tatum, one of his lines in it is, "It could never happen. I'm half dog." I mean, it's great.
I have to say, I was genuinely excited to watch this movie leading up to it actually coming to theaters. I was excited to see it, and then I saw all the reviews, and I'm like, I believe it had like a 40-something on Metacritic, It was pretty low.
And that's what I mean. It really did not get good reviews, but for $1 at Redbox, or even waiting until it comes out on Netflix if you really aren't that interested, it is a fun movie. It is a movie I would say would make riff tracks easily.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And that's why I find it so entertaining. Another thing for the new releases coming this week, the new SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which is great for the kids. It's entertaining. It has a lot of the same kind of jokes that SpongeBob has had through its series and through the previous movie, where they're kind of adultish jokes, but kids don't really get them yet. For parents, I guess if you're an adult, you probably don't want to go see a SpongeBob movie, or if you do, maybe there's problems there. But overall, it's not bad. Justified, the final season, is coming out, and I really like that show, but I also really like Deadwood, and so seeing the main actor playing a similar cowboy-esque, that same kind of morally ambiguous but morally right style of character, I can get really behind. I can get behind that really easily. And I really like the actor too, especially from the movies that I've really loved. And then The Wire, complete TV series. The Wire was really popular when it was out, and it's people that have caught it since but it's gotten pretty good reviews since then. And this is a chance to get the whole series on VHS.
On VHS? Really?
on DVD and Blu-ray, on Blu-ray, so yeah.
So how much is that? Do we know how much that one is?
I'll look it up.
And the reason I ask is, again, for those of our fans that say that I'm a money hat, because it's happened on a couple of the podcast comments. If it's more than $15, the entire series is available on HBO now, if you can get it, for $15 for a month.
But then you can't own it.
But
well, you are in America, Mark. Owning it is 9/10 of the law.
My bad. I'm just gonna say that it's out there, and you can get it and everything else HBO does for $15. So I think it's a great deal.
By the way, I mentioned Deadwood earlier, also on HBO. Also on the same service.
Okay.
Totally worth seeing. If we don't have kids in the room, do not have kids in the room.
No.
I made that mistake the first time I watched the first episode. Definitely a mistake.
My fiance watched it, and literally it was like I was downstairs and she had the volume turned up, and all I heard was F F F F F. I'm like, what are you doing up there? Yeah.
So I'm saying there's things out right now that are totally worth going and getting this week, or waiting for Redbox. So Mark, you're a little bit off, and that may be a surprise, but it's right around the $100 mark for the complete series.
Well, you know what? Starbucks and a Starbucks, your argument is invalid.
That was probably one of my favorite panels, getting to listen to her, because it was shocking. Naomi said, my wife said, she's not really tough like her character on the screen. She's more of like a girly girl, And so I'm watching her sitting on stage answering questions, and she's flipping her hair and like checking her nails as she's answering the questions, and answering the questions as a powerful woman, but as a powerful woman who likes pretty things. And it really surprised me because I've seen her on so many years and so many typecasts and so many characters that are that tough woman. And I wouldn't have gone on this tangent if you hadn't shown me that picture. Go ahead, Joe. Speaking of tangents.
Well, let's talk about the box office. How about that? How about a tangent for that? Mark, do you want to tackle the box office? No? Okay, I'll do it. So, so this week, it's really not that big of a surprise. Actually, the whole box office kind of almost is a mirror image of what the week before looked like. Um, Up at the top, you've got San Andreas, which was the obvious front runner. It was the only really big A-list movie that came out this week, or
Are any
not
of us going to
A-list.
go watch that?
I think I am planning on seeing it tomorrow.
I want to. I don't know.
It's it's $5 at my local theaters on Tuesdays, so I figure that is definitely a $5 movie.
Yeah, I want to see it. I just can't find the motivation to pay for an IMAX seat to go watch it.
Yeah, I know.
I love The Rock. I
I
like
love
The
him.
Rock.
Yeah, I love him too. Yeah.
And I am so looking forward to Ballers on HBO coming mid-June. But I just don't, The Rock as an action hero, I'm kind of done with for right now. That's why I'm looking forward to Ballers so much, because I think grounding him is going to be a great way to show his versatility, because he really can act. Believe it or not.
I mean, has anyone seen the Tooth Fairy, for crying out loud? I mean, right there. I mean,
Cinematic brilliance.
right? That's what I'm saying. Why do you think he's in Fast and the Furious? It's because of his amazing role in the Tooth Fairy. True story. Um, I don't know if that's true or not. Are you gonna hit him?
Gamers Life does not condone violence. The music
Right.
It was a marshmallow. Shot at high velocity.
into his eye.
So okay, so San Andreas did 53 million. Pitch Perfect is number 2 with 14 million. Tomorrowland is almost 14 million. Mad Max is still hanging in there. Almost, it's like 13.5 million. It was only a couple $100,000 below Tomorrowland, so it's a really good sign that's got some staying power. Avengers still in the top 5 with almost 11 million. Aloha is 10 million. I don't know too much about Aloha, but I think that one's got a pretty big cast.
It does, and it's actually a bunch of people I actually really like to watch too.
Right,
I have heard very negative things about it.
And that's why I think it was so low, is that even though it's got this amazing cast, nobody, all the reviews coming out of it from the week before have just been pretty iffy. So
can we talk about how Rachel McAdams is in everything now?
Hey, don't complain. Bradley
It's
Cooper's
true.
in it, and he's not a talking raccoon.
Yeah, I'm a little over Rachel McAdams.
Well, I'm not over her. I'm just saying she's spread a little thin because she's everywhere. And
her voice. Oh my God, her voice. She just sounds so. It's way up here, and I'm down here. Anyway.
Well, so if you wanted to be trapped inside of a TV, what would be the next box office hit?
Oh, well, I would be watching Poltergeist for that one. That would be 8 million, which would make me far from the maddening crowd, which came in at number 8, and that would keep you guys in hot pursuit, which came in at number 9, until I got home, which is at number 10. Thank you.
Nice. The only thing I can say about Pitch Perfect being number 2 is that I am glad for one reason and one reason alone. I actually liked the first. I mean, it was all right. It was good. But Pentatonics is in the second one, so I'm totally all right with that being up there at number 2.
Really?
I believe it's just a small guess thing, but still, any exposure they get, I'm totally happy with it.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. So kind of to piggyback off of the San Andreas being up at the top this week, it was also announced today that, according to The Wrap, the magazine, The Wrap, our good buddy Wiki, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in negotiations to star in and produce in a remake, and hold your hate mail because here it comes. He's going to be producing and starring in a remake of John Carpenter's action caper, Big Trouble in Little China, through Fox Pictures. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. Apparently, he's working on ironing out a deal right now to play Jack Burton, and he's working on working from a script that was done by the X-Men First Class writer, I believe, Zach Stentz and Ashley Miller. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, well, first off, are you guys big fans of Big Trouble in Little China? Have you seen it? Do you love it? Is it your thing?
Fill time, Daniel.
So, I haven't actually seen that movie in quite a few years, but I'm a big fan of a lot of that genre of movies in that time frame. I don't know about a remake. I'm actually a little remaked out, to be honest. I like some of the original stuff, but when original stuff comes out and it's Jupiter Rising, I can't really blame them for going back to something that they know would sell.
Right.
So this is the movie you're referring to, right?
Correct.
Yes. The movie that without its existence, we probably wouldn't have Mortal Kombat, the video game, correct?
Also correct, yes.
The one that has horrible 80s sexism and stereotypes in it, right?
That's the one, yes.
I'm totally down with this.
Yeah, but without you'll never get all that 80s sexism and misogyny and borderline racism. You won't get away with a lot of that
as
stuff.
As long as we've got Raiden and a Liu Kang who explodes, I'm all right with this.
All right.
I mean, if they have Lopan and I'm
Superman, every single Power Ranger.
And let me put no. Yes, exactly. No, let me point this out. Lopan, he's still around.
Yeah.
He could reprise the exact same role.
Yeah.
And he still looks exactly the friggin' same.
Yeah.
So
he hasn't aged a single day.
He's like the Chinese Casey Kasem.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know. I think that it could be a lot of fun as long as they go so woefully overboard like they did with the original. If they get all the big set pieces, all the big action shots, I think it could be a fun time.
Yeah, I think. I mean, so what movie was it that The Rock was in with Sean William Scott and
American Pie?
No.
American Pie 2.
No.
American Pie 3.
Also no.
American Pie Bandcamp.
No, I don't even think Sean William Scott was in that one, was he?
I don't know.
No, it was Sean William Scott and Christopher Walken, and The Rock. They were all three in this movie, and
I remember the movie.
The Rundown. The Rundown.
Yeah,
I freaking love that movie.
If they can, because The Rock does comedy great. He really, really does. From his stints on Saturday Night Live to movies like The Rundown, I think he can do it. It's just if the script is there. I think if the script is there, and like you said, Mark, if it's just completely over the top, it has to be over the top. Or if they present this like just like an action adventure movie or something like that.
If they go serious, that's the death of the movie immediately.
Yeah, it'll never happen. Yeah. And so I'm cautiously optimistic to see how this works out, but we'll see. What else is going on in the news? Mark, do you have a news story?
Yeah, so Star Trek 3 is about, I don't know, a couple weeks away from shooting, and it turns out that Simon Pegg just turned in the first draft of the script.
Oh, well, that's terrifying. I hope it's really good.
You know what? I if anybody can pull it off, I think Peg can.
Yeah.
But he said that when they came in, they scrapped everything. They started again 6 months before they were due shooting, which is insane, and they just finished. They start shooting in 4 weeks, and they're handing in the first draft today. They're saying they're trying to open the franchise up to a wider audience.
Well, what does that mean, though, wider audience?
Well, I think the idea is that they're going to make a theme that everyone can relate to and then kind of paint Star Trek over it. Yeah. And so that,
So I think I know actually what's going to happen. Simon Pegg is going to be left alone on the Enterprise all by himself, and then 2 robbers are going to try to break into the Enterprise, and Simon Pegg's going to have to set up a whole bunch of traps.
And then they die and come back to life, and he's going to beam in his best friend, who's like a mooch that lives in his quarters.
This is all great.
It fits all the genres.
And then they can become cops.
Yes, roaming the galaxy.
That's exactly it. Star roaming space cops.
Yes. And they'll fight people with like bars of energy that they pull out of the warp drive.
And it'll make a hot fuzz noise.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they can fly to the world's end.
Folks, we do birthday parties and bar mitzvahs, so if you need us for anything, you just give us a call. Just get a hold of us at gamersledge@gmail.com.
I suppose while we're on Star Trek, we should also say that if you like Star Trek and you also like whales, because that can be an exclusive thing, or they can be separate things that just happen to exist in the same universe. A limited edition Star Trek IV The Voyage Home bobblehead figure commemorating a scene featuring Spock swimming with the whales is coming soon.
Have you seen the picture of this?
I can't even imagine the picture for this.
It's fantastic.
It actually looks pretty cool.
Is he in his white robe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say it'd have to be for most of that movie. That's what he was in.
Speaking of tails that wobble, Mark, that's what wobbles in these bobbleheads, and it's not the heads, it's the tails.
It's true.
And with a tiny miniature Spock.
Yeah, he's like gripped onto one of the whales on top. It's
beautiful.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the pre-orders for it, from what I understand, are going to be done through Entertainment Earth, and the figure's made by a company called Biff Bang Pow.
Yeah. This really ties into one of our talking them down from the ledges at the site, which is, are corporations taking advantage of geek culture?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Does this need to exist? I mean, that's a very specific cross-section.
Keep talking. I'll show you.
Okay. Yeah. The funny part is that the more I look at the specialization stuff, I'm not really sure it's necessary, but I'm sure Joe is going to bring something that is so super specific that only 4 people will ever get it, that ever watch this video. Is that really the case, Joe? Because I think you're going to. Is that really the case, Joe? Because I think it is.
What?
That you're going to show us something that is so specific that only 4 people ever watch this video will ever get it.
There are at least 268 people who have this thing.
Well, let's see what it is. You have to talk while you put it up there.
That is a
I hate you so much.
The Hamilton collection of plates. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, the movie plate collection.
I want to eat food off his chest.
Oh no, you can't!
Yes, this plate, folks, was limited to only 28 firing days. So Yes, is nerd culture, are corporations taking advantage of nerd culture? You tell me. I
That's
wholeheartedly say yes.
That's awesome.
Oh boy.
This
So
is an
yeah,
awesome plate. The thing with back to that bobblehead, the thing that I had read on that was, so you can pre-order that through Entertainment Earth, but those are actually going to go on sale at the San Diego Comic-Con. And if you pre-order on Entertainment Earth, it means that you have. What happens is if they sell out of all of them at Comic-Con, you don't get one. It's just whatever they have left over goes to the people who pre-order it. So if that's something that interests you, go for it. Knock yourself out. I know bobbleheads are a big thing right now. So anyway.
mind bobbling. No.
No. So what else, guys? Do we have anything else?
Well, there's one last thing, and that is that Netflix is doing something that HBO Now has done since the beginning of its service, and that is that it is in beta markets, so not everywhere, but in certain beta markets, it is actually showing ads before and after shows, but only for its own content, so its original content that it generates, which I'm fine with that. I could see people would say, oh, well, this is the first step towards ads. It could be, actual ads, but I doubt it.
Well, and I think a long time ago, Netflix had said that they have absolutely no intentions of selling ad space. I think I think this is as deep as they would go. If by chance that they did have something like an Archer, for example, and they did decide to do commercials in the middle of Archer, it would be for other Netflix programming rather than just, Tide or whatever. Which, speaking of which, now an ad from Squarespace. Squarespace, build it beautifully. I don't know. We're not.
Build it beautiful, but you were close.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sponsored ads in this show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's about it.
Have we gotten any the mailbag? How's the mailbag doing?
I did not check it beforehand because I'm a bad person. Actually, we did have somebody. Let me find it real quick. Hold on. We had somebody said hi. I just wanted to give them a shout out. And of course, now that I've pressed something on here, I can no longer find who the shout out was from. But I'll find out eventually. We're prepared.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, that being said, we should probably talk about maybe our Netflix book club.
Yes.
Let's do a Netflix book club, guys. Yes.
Just one other cross promotional thing for the site.
Yeah.
This upcoming week's Talking Them Down from the Ledge is specifically tied to this show. It's movie reboots. Are they good or bad?
Awesome.
And I happen to be championing the side of good.
And when can they expect this content?
That should be out on Thursday on gamersledge.com or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/gamersledge.com, all spelled out. But you already know that because you're watching it here. Or on our site and can click the button to see it. Yeah. So, movie book club.
Yeah.
Yes, movie book club. Basically, what I think we should do is pick a movie, we watch it, and we'll talk about it next week. What should we watch, guys? I wanted to get the fans involved and have them tell us what to watch, but in the meantime, I feel like we should just pick something out until we get something.
So I'm going to pick one, and you guys will need to tell me if this is doable.
Okay.
Because it is perhaps one of the longest movies on any of the streaming services. And Daniel immediately dies. Yes, I know. But it is one of the greatest movies of all time, and if you've not watched it, you owe it to yourself to watch it.
All right.
It is part of the Criterion Collection. It is The Seven Samurai.
Oh, okay. That's doable.
It's about 3.5 hours, if I remember correctly. And Daniel winces in pain. Daniel, I know you are time-starved. Is that feasible or
It's
not?
feasible. It's feasible. I'll get it watched. You said it's one more time.
It's The Seven Samurai by Kurosawa.
And it's on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Hulu Plus.
So we are going to all sit down and watch The Seven Samurai this week, and if you...
Or does it need to be Netflix, Daniel?
No. I'll find a copy and I'll watch it. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you, the fans, would like to take part in the discussion next week, get on Hulu and look it up. Hulu actually has a ton of Criterion films. Criterion is kind of responsible for taking a lot of the older movies that are out there, or a lot of genre films, or a lot of poignant films, and bringing them to the forefront, putting them all into one collection. I would argue that lately they have gotten a little high on themselves, and they're picking stuff. They're like hipster picking at this point.
Well, let's be very clear on what they do. They started out as exactly as you said, as an archival and preservation restoration business, and then they sell these movies at super expensive premiums.
About $40 a piece.
Super pretty expensive premium. That's the base entry. Something like Seven Samurai, you can fully expect to pay $70 to $90 for. I mean, it is. Most of their movies are $100, and this is the Blu-rays, not the DVDs.
Right.
It used to be that way for the DVDs, but then since the advent of Blu-rays, the DVDs are a little bit cheaper. But even so, if you try to buy the complete Criterion Collection on Blu-ray, I believe it's retailing for about $2,200 right now. So while it is some of the best film ever made, their job is to continue to make and crank out these here's our recommendation, we're hipsters kind of thing. So that's what people expect from them. So I totally get it, but I don't necessarily say Hulu is another great buy for this because it's all there under your $8 fee.
And with Hulu, they actually have kind of cherry-picked the best of those. So you have, it's not these obscure movies that I would argue don't have any impact on film. It's like legitimate films. You wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't for Seven Samurai. I'm telling you right now. I mean,
absolutely.
Lucas has gone on record hundreds of times saying Seven Samurai. You watch Star Wars, you will see Seven Samurai in it. So a lot of people look to Kurosawa, for what he did. And I mean, this was what, in the 40s, 50s?
But I want to say it was late 40s, early 50s. Still black and white.
Yeah. But I will need to say I haven't seen it in probably about 5 or 6 years, so I'm definitely looking forward to sitting down and rewatching it. So
Daniel, have you ever seen it?
No. So Joe was saying earlier that there are movies that she would get flame hate for, and I'm not a big fan for kung fu films.
This is not a kung fu movie.
Yeah, it's not a kung fu movie. Yep.
All right. But yeah, I have not seen this. No.
I think you will be pleasantly surprised. My only other warning is that it is all in Japanese, so you will need to read the subtitles. But I know
that's not I love subtitles, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So as we close out the show, folks, just want to let you know, if you want to, like I was saying earlier, if you want to be part of the conversation next week, we're going to probably take a couple minutes at somewhere. Excuse me. That was weird. I don't know if that was a sneeze or a cough or what that was. No, if you want to, because they can chat with us during the show, right? Is that correct?
They can, as a matter of fact.
So if you want to chat with us next week about the movie, go ahead and watch it this week, or if you've seen it recently, maybe jot down a couple of questions or something like that, and then next week we'll talk about it, answer questions, and posit new questions. Who knows? We'll see. And then if you have an idea for another movie that you'd like us to watch and talk about, let us know. Put it in the comments. And Mark, where can they get a hold of us for all that stuff.
Well, if you'd like to email us, you can, of course, do so at balth@gamersledge.com. That's BALTH @gamersledge.com. We are also on Twitter. Our handle is @gamersledge, facebook.com/gamersledge. And then, of course, here on our YouTube channel, you can leave comments. We, of course, get those also. And then last but not least, you can visit us on gamersledge.com and leave all the comments to your heart's content in our stories there. Joe?
So, for myself, Daniel, Mark, this has been another amazing, well put together, and very, very organized episode of Video Veg. We will see you guys next week on the Veg, and until then, keep it tuned. We're gonna come up. God, send us something. We need a good catchphrase, guys.
Double Travolta on.
Double Travolta.
Watch until your eyes bleed.
Good night, everyone.